Hey, what's up, YouTube? My name is the True Graham, and then the music ends, so I can't keep going to that tune. But, hey, what's up, YouTube? My name is the True Graham. This is going to be episode 15 of Let's Complete the Pokedex in Pokemon Blue. In the last episode, we got to Fuchsia City and did a couple of things in the Safari Zone, not catching any Pokemon that we needed to, because basically we didn't see any, and also the catching mechanic sucks. And, basically, in this episode, we are going to be taking on the Fuchsia Gym, challenging Koga, the Ninja Master. This gym is poison type, I think, or it's supposed to be poison type, but it always ends up having a couple psychic types and stuff. It's not, well, of course it always does, because it always has the same thing, but it ends up having a couple psychic types, and it's not really all like sort of consistent, if you will. The same way Sabrina had the Venomoth, it's kind of like that with the psychic type guys. Like, one of the dudes had a Hypno. I think it was like the second guy that we fight. But yeah, all the fights are pretty repetitive as far as what goes on in the fights, so I decided to not show them. Basically what I was doing though, these battles was I was getting Duck some levels, and I was also trying to use Shella to the best of my ability to get Shella some levels. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, and I really just don't need Shella anymore. There's not very many Pokemon that she's really going to be useful against. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to show that I had grabbed an Abra that I was going to be leveling in here as well, trying to get the Abra to evolve, because I really wanted to, because especially at this part in the game, there's more fights, or more Pokemon battles than you really need to get into. And so I decided to use these battles as ways to level up some Pokemon and thin out the count, if you will, for from the total number of Pokemon, because it makes it easier on me, and why not? But yeah, so anyway, I decided that I don't need Shella anymore, because there's no real like big sort of sections of the game where she's gonna be all that useful anymore. She might help in like a couple battles here and there, but I decided that I would much rather instead have a rotating 6th Pokemon as opposed to filling up the entire party. Because hold on, let's take a moment to listen to this amazing gym theme. God, I love this gym theme. It's so epic. This is the best gym theme in any Pokemon game, in my opinion. And if you want to argue that with me, then I think you're crazy, because this is such an epic gym theme. But yeah, like I was saying, there's no real big battles or anything that Shella's gonna come in handy for, and I can just evolve her with a Firestone and get her off the list. And so that's what I decided to do. I'm gonna be evolving her coming up real soon, and then using the 6th Pokemon slot to rotate in some Pokemon so I can thin out the Pokedex count just as I play through the game. Because believe it or not, we're actually kind of getting close-ish to the end of the main story. This is already our 6th gym badge out of 8, and then there's the Elite Four. There's some more Pokemon to be caught. Obviously, we only have like 70, I believe, at the end of this episode, or 60. I think it's closer to 60 something at the end of the episode. So there's still some stuff that needs to be that we need to get done. But as far as like stories sections, we're really kind of near the end. Because we have Cinnabar Island and all that Cinnabar Island entails, and we have the Elite Four. We have the 8th gym and the Elite Four, but the 8th gym doesn't require any sort of story components, unlike Cinnabar Island, which has a component that I'm not going to spoil. And then it's on to Victory Road in the Elite Four, so that's like, that only sounds like 4 episodes of story left or something. And then probably, I'll definitely end up squeezing in some Pokemon capturing and stuff alongside that, but it sounds like there's not that much left to be done as far as sheer Pokemon story portions. Which is actually really surprising that we're only at episode 15. I kind of have been pretty efficient, I guess if you will, with the videos. Like, I've jam-packed as much content into each video as possible, trying to kind of keep this LP moving at a fast-ish pace. Especially, by the way, if you couldn't tell, the strategy with taking on Koga was earthquake everything, because basically Elizabeth is overpowered at this point with earthquake, and even though it's not even level 40 yet, she's still really, really good, and she will continue to be really, really useful for the next 2 gym battles, and on into the Elite Four. So, I'm very happy to have chosen Sheila to be a part of our team. Yeah, Koga has never really been all that hard of a gym. I never remember getting stuck on it or anything, as opposed to Sabrina, which used to stump me a lot of the time, partly just because of the gym puzzle used to drive me crazy and when I was younger. But like I remember once I started a new game because I couldn't figure out how to get out of Sabrina's gym, which I probably should have talked about when I was actually fighting Sabrina's gym, but I just thought of it right now. But so yeah, Koga's gym is much easier. So sorry, it obviously wasn't the most eventful battle, but yeah, I decided that like I said, I've decided that Shella is not going to have much use for us anymore. So I withdraw my Firestone, and it's kind of sad that that this ends up being what happens with Shella, but I decided that it's for the best. It'll make the LP more efficient, and it will also lead to better stuff because I don't have to worry about training up another Pokemon. And if I kind of thought it through more, then I probably would have realized that Growlithe or Arcanine wasn't going to be all that useful for the majority of the playthrough, especially at the point that I had Sheila all ready to go. So I should have thought about it and maybe not put the effort into training her up as much as I did. But even at the level that she really wasn't pulling her weight. And so yeah. Oh, and basically I released a couple Pokemon that I caught on the I was just doing like some test stuff for the Safari Zone, and I released a couple Doduos that I caught that I didn't need. But when I was like kind of testing out the mechanics more of the Safari Zone and trying to get my bearings real well, because I think I'm gonna have to designate like an entire episode to the Safari Zone, which it doesn't sound fun. But yeah, on the brighter side of not using Shell anymore, at least she looks like a badass now that she's Arcanine. Arcanine is a pretty cool Pokemon, and I wish that I had actually gotten her. It's a her because of the nickname. Her at an appropriate time to use her more towards the beginning of the game. Even though we didn't get her that late, it just didn't come to fruition the way I thought it would with using her. And yeah, I showed off my Pokedex management, or not my Pokedex, but my PC management for once, actually, because in boxes 1 and 2 I have Pokemon that I need to evolve. In box 12 I have Pokemon that I've already evolved, and I have all the evolution chains of that Pokemon. When they're like completely done, I put them in box 12. Box 7 is Pokemon that need to be traded to be evolved, and boxes 1 and 2, like I said, are Pokemon that I've caught that I need to evolve. And that's about it for the way I'm managing my my PC. It helps, I think, to at least keep it somewhat organized. I believe I take I forget what I think I take Rattata with me at this point. I look through all of my guys, and I decide that Rattata is the way that I want to go. But first I had to remind myself who a couple of the guys were, and because I couldn't really remember, I knew it was like one of the first guys, and when it wasn't Max, I knew it was Seth. Which it's kind of the problem of giving them all like human nicknames. I can't identify them, which might have not been the smartest thing, but I'm gonna continue with it now because we're already this far in, and I don't want to change the formula unless I can think of like a cool pun or something for the guys, or a valid nickname of some other sort. But because I'm not really all that good at creating nicknames and stuff, I decide not to. because really not very good at it at all. But yeah, before sorry that I haven't been coming out with that many episodes of this series. I had to do a lot of catching up in my my red file, because if you guys haven't been able to tell, it's been pretty much all blue for most of the time, and so I had to obviously play through all the things I played through in blue and red, and I've also just been kind of doing other, like, especially now that it's pretty much baseball season. As far as my high school team and stuff, we stay much later after school during baseball season. Normally we stay till about 4:30-ish, I would say, on average. During season we stay till about 5:30, 6, depending. So, because we gotta win some games, you know, do some big things this year. But that's not really all that important. Just saying that I'm gonna have kind of less time. So I'm probably going to be coming out with a LP that won't take that much editing, because there's actually a decent amount of editing that goes into both Portal and Pokemon, and Metroid is obviously complete at this point. So I need another sort of Metroid-ish series that doesn't require as much editing, so that I can keep pace with a lot of stuff. And I already have the LP planned. I'm gonna try to kind of upload more of this in Portal than the other LP, and I'm actually gonna see how long I can go without trying to record it, because for me it's kind of cool to like start multiple projects sort of around the same time. It's fun, so I want to sort of finish as many. If I had all three of the projects that I had going at the same time, if I finished them before I started something new, then for me it would make it kind of more fun. I'm not necessarily more fun, but like starting a new Let's Play is sort of like an adventure. Oh, and by the way, I'm showing this battle to show you guys what the EXP all does, because it's actually quite different from the EXP Share, which is in most other generations. But yeah, as you can see, I switched in Seth, so Seth got a little bit of even more experience. But the EXP all divides it up by 6 and spreads out the XP that way, which basically makes it like useless for actually trying to train Pokemon, especially at the levels that I have them. I can't really recommend using the EXP all, especially because you need 50 kinds of Pokemon to even get it, and me trying to catch all 150, I barely got there. I think I had like 10 or something more Pokemon, and so it's really kind of not all that easy to get 50 kinds of Pokemon at that point. So it's and since the XPL is not a useful item in the slightest, I can't recommend it. EXP Share though, if it was the EXP Share, it'd be much better. But but in this version of the game, I'm 100% sure that, because I was about to say I'm pretty sure, but I'm not. I'm 100% sure that you can't give items to Pokemon to hold. So there's no point in even having an EXP Share in the game, because you obviously can't give it to the Pokemon. And it also makes there to just be too much text every time you kill a Pokemon. And just for that, even if it was useful for that reason alone, I would probably not use it, because it makes the battles take longer, but especially with the fact that it makes it harder to train up Pokemon I'm actually trying to train, as well as it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's, it's inefficient, and, it's just a waste, so I'm really not going to be using it. I can't really find, any reason to recommend the XP all, unless maybe you're using, like, one, like, very powerful Pokemon, while the rest of your guys are all lower level Pokemon, and you're trying to train them up maybe in like the Elite Four or something, like to get like levels, a little bit of levels on some of your guys. It's super circumstantial, is what I'm trying to say, and it's not at all worth it. It makes everything take longer than it should, and it's just not good. I don't think I need to reiterate that in another form. But, yeah, sorry, my throat, like, just made me kind of lose my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Sorry, this is I haven't been really sick for a while. I've still had phlegm, and it's been for like a month, but I still have a little bit of phlegm, more than normal. And so that kind of sucks. But yeah, there are a couple Pokemon that we can catch in this area. As you can see, there's nothing around here. I don't even know why I did all that. But there are a couple of new Pokemon we can catch. We can get Venonat, and now that we have both the good and great rods, we can use them to fish for guys along this route, which we couldn't get before. Speaking of that, we're gonna probably have to fly back to some older areas to fish for some more Pokemon and other water routes that we didn't previously, or other waterways that we weren't previously available. The Pokemon weren't previously available to us. I can't talk, and I'm sorry that I'm like derping this way. But also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's like a slight little like static with my mic like every once in a while, and especially with my like sort of OCD, it's been really bothering me, and I think that I've pinpointed the reason to it being that I don't have a high quality sound card in my computer, so me trying to like capture all this like stuff in the highest quality has made it kind of more staticky, and so I'm going to be installing a sound card. I actually have one somewhat available. My dad's computer rig kind of just failed on him. He can't even get it to turn on, and so he just broke down and bought a MacBook actually a while ago, and he said that I could have the sound card in his computer, but I haven't really found the time or necessarily thought about it when I had the time, which I should do. I need to like write it down somewhere. I really need to get like a whiteboard that I just write what I need to do so that I don't forget, because normally I don't. But stuff like the sound card, which I easily could have done this weekend, it would have taken like 15 minutes at the most, I just completely forgot about, which is not good. I shouldn't. Stuff like that I shouldn't forget about. It's really easy, and it's not. Shouldn't forget about it. Just can't do it. But like, because I've done this with like a lot of things as well, like forgetting and then wishing that I had written it down on a whiteboard, especially if it's just like something that I can like look at the whiteboard like in the morning and remind myself to do stuff. That's something that I really need. And another thing that I don't really need, but I've been wanting is a DS capture device, because I want to get a 3DS, because there's some good games that are out now for it. There's Pokemon X and Y are they're coming out September, I believe, or sometime in the fall. I think it's September or October. No, it's either September or November, I think. And then the new Fire Emblem has come out. Looks really good. I'm kind of a fan of the Fire Emblem series. I've only kind of played them here and there. I've never beaten any of the games. I've like tried them out at friends' houses and stuff, and I've really enjoyed that. I am a fan of strategy sort of games like that one. I like the Command, or not, I think isn't it Command and Conquer series? Yeah, that's what. I don't know why but I played some of the older ones, and I was kind of young when I played them, and I was not good at them at all. And I don't know what happened to my discs, because I think I'm pretty sure it was either myself or my dad had them, and now they're gone. We don't know where they went, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I've enjoyed the Command and Conquer games, which I know are different from Fire Emblem, but I've played about 8 hours of the original Fire Emblem on ROMs and stuff. I really want to buy them, because I can never finish a game when I play it on a ROM, because I'm just like, yeah, I like this game, I'm gonna buy it. Because I mean, it's for me, games are a lot more fun when I play them on the system. I don't know why, but emulating is not the way to go. That's why I don't emulate any of my LPs either, and I plan on never doing so. But yeah, I do want to play the Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Awakening, and just most of the series in general. I want to kind of catch up with it. Oh, I also really like the Advance Wars games; those are fun. But and with Fire Emblem Awakening being out and the new Pokemon X and Y games coming out, those are kind of the two main games that are making me want a 3DS right now. Also, the Ocarina remake. It'd be nice to have Ocarina on the go. I've come really close to finishing Ocarina on my Wii Virtual Console, but but because I have the system in my living room, it's like I never want to sort of take away that space from other people, because in general, like, or not in general, but like usually when I get home, when I'm playing video games, it's kind of later, and that's like when my sister or my mom or my dad might be they'll be watching like a show that they like, or at that time and stuff, and so I never want to. And so usually when I have the time, I don't, like, I play it, but I never really want to kind of take away from something that they would want to do. And so for that reason, I don't really, I've only played it in short bursts, even though I've had the desire to play it kind of like frequently. And so the 3DS remake looks like a good opportunity for me, as well as I'm pretty sure Majora's Mask. I don't think they've confirmed it, but everybody kind of knows that it's coming. The Majora's Mask remake. I've never played Majora's Mask, and I kind of would like to, as well as having the 3DS eShop and all those the classics that they have available. It looks like an overall good system, and I want one. And so, but I think the reason why I got off on that tangent was because I was talking about getting I was wanting to get a DS capture device, because I have a DS Fat that I could buy the capture kit for and install it myself. It's really, it seems pretty darn simple, and it's like $50. And the reason why I say that is because the reason why I'm contemplating that over other things is I can use it for recording both Game Boy Advance and DS games. But then there's also, but I couldn't use it if I ever wanted to record any 3DS games, and if I was to buy a 3DS, I could, and with the capture device, because if I get a 3DS, I'm only getting one with the capture device in case I ever want to capture something anyway. I don't want to get it without. Plus, even if I don't ever use it for like a 3DS LP, I'm pretty sure there's something on the eShop that I would want to Let's Play. So some of the Nintendo classics, like I know for a fact that a couple of games that I've been considering for future LPs are on that. So I know that it wouldn't go to the money wouldn't go to waste, but I'm not sure whether or not, because I mean I have a Game Boy Advance player for my GameCube, but the controls aren't that great, because I only have the regular GameCube controllers. I don't have one of those like Hori game pads or whatever, which would be really nice to have. They're like $100 now, so that's not really that good of an option. But yeah. So my sort of, I guess, my options are either I can continue to use the Game Boy player, or I could get the 3D for any Game Boy Advanced LPs, as well as Game Boy Color and stuff, which I'm pretty much gonna have to use it for Game Boy Color and that stuff, unless I was to get a Game Boy player. Or not a Game Boy player, a Super Game Boy, which I wanted to get one a while ago. I don't really need one anymore. But the one plus about the Game Boy player is I could use the Super Nintendo controller, which is much more fit for like the 2D sort of games that come on the handhelds. So I'm kind of torn with stuff that I want to do. I'm most likely going to end up getting the 3DS capture, because that can capture both 3DS and DS games, and I already have the Game Boy player to capture Game Boy games, so that's probably what I'm going to end up doing if that all ends up coming together. But yeah, I just got off on a really long tangent that I didn't think I would get off on. I basically just wanted to say that I wanted to get a 3DS because it looks good, and Pokemon X and Y especially. I think I'm gonna get X. Okay, I don't remember which one I'm getting, but I'm getting whichever one my friends are getting less, because I actually do have friends, contrary to what some of you might think. I don't have very many, but I do have a few that I basically only have like close friends. So, but most of us pretty much all play the Pokemon games, and so I'm gonna get the ones that I'm gonna get the game that either X or Y. I'm gonna get the counterpart to them, whichever one they're getting less, because just having the other legendary and trading over guys, even though I never really like trade over like region exclusives, I don't know if there's gonna be something like really cool that they're gonna really like, that I can like trade over, and then I can get something cool in return or whatever. I don't really know how it's going to go, but I'm also trying to avoid X and Y spoilers as much as possible. I want it to kind of be a surprise. I mean, it just seems like a really like it's gonna be a really good game from the trailer that I saw. I'm kind of disappointed that it looks like it's still in a grid-based movement form. I would much prefer it to be in the Coliseum XD sort of like free-to-roam 3D kind of, I guess, style. That's kind of that word fits. And speaking of XD and Coliseum, I never really played Coliseum. I bought XD. I never, because by the time I had a GameCube, XD had already Coliseum had already came out, and like XD came out like a little while after I had bought my GameCube, and I'm pretty sure I ended up reserving XD, and it was really fun. So I played XD. I never really played all that much of Coliseum. I've been wanting to pick up both games again, because I don't know what happened to my XD copy, and I believe one of my friends actually gave me his Coliseum, but I don't know what happened to either one of the games. I might have traded them in or something when I was like, because I remember I traded in a few games that I wish I hadn't traded in. I think I traded in Pokemon Sapphire. It was also I could get money for like Guitar Hero or something like that. And I really shouldn't, especially trading in games at GameStop is the dumbest thing you can do. And I wish I hadn't done it, but so XD and Coliseum are games that I really want to pick up again. I really want to play through Coliseum because I haven't finished that game ever. I never actually even really got all that far in Coliseum, but what I played, I kind of enjoyed. I didn't like it as much as I liked XD, but I was also kind of younger, like 5-6 years younger. I think I've gotten more patient and more appreciative. I think it was also it was like the game had like a kind of a weird start, and I don't know if that just like turned me off from the game, is the start that it got off to. I'm really not all that sure why I never really got that much into Coliseum. I really liked XD, and that's like almost the same game, so can't put my finger on it. Maybe we'll see whenever I pick them up again, because I really do want to pick them up at some point. I don't know if I'll ever necessarily like pick them up and LP them or anything. I'm not gonna completely close the door on that, but But right now, I wouldn't say that I'm either here nor there thinking about LPing them. They haven't actually even really crossed my mind. I kind of have my next few games. I wouldn't say set in stone, but I have them like kind of loosely arranged in my mind to the point where I sort of know what I would want to do. So XD and Coliseum are just games that I want to pick up for my own enjoyment. Really, I really just like Pokemon games in general. If you hadn't been able to tell, I think that they're fun-ass games. It's, like, the evolution thing just makes it so the sort of slower-paced battles don't really bother me, because you get the constant, because like leveling a guy up to the point of evolution is really satisfying, and then like after they evolve, it's just like having a more powerful dude is satisfying. And so I think that overall, what Game Freak was able to do with the Pokemon series just makes it a more satisfying RPG than most games. But as you can see, the Pokemon that we were able to catch on this route they were Poliwag, Goldeen, and Tentacool. I almost said Kent because that's what I nicknamed the Tentacool. But yeah, so that was a oops. Apologies for that awkward transition. I'm gonna fix that in a second. But I'm pretty sure that's all we get. Actually, I forgot about Crabby. Crabby is a really cool Pokemon. I really need to use it in one of my playthroughs. It's a cool Pokemon. I've always wanted to, and I actually really like its first generation sprite. It doesn't really look like the Crabby that has come to be today. It kind of just looks more like a crab with really big, like, kind of human-ish eyes, instead of having like the beady eyes that a normal crab has. And for that reason, I've always just kind of liked Crabby. Crabby was kind of hindered in the first, second, and third generations by the fact that it has much better physical attacks than it does, or physical attack stats. It's much more physically oriented than it is specially, but it has the typing to be more specially oriented. So it's kind of a shame that that's what happened for Crabby. Crabby is also not. It doesn't boast the best stats ever in the world either. So Crabby isn't the greatest Pokemon, but it's really cool. And I mean, I always liked the thing with like the Crabby and the pinching for the anime series. There was like there was a little section where Crabby pinched Ash, and I thought that was kind of funny. It also says Crabby is a river crab. I don't know if they're really. I've never seen a crab from a river. I don't think that they're really all that common of a thing, river crabs, because they need a lot of crabs. I think like all crabs need salt water. I don't think river crabs are even a thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And I think that I'm a somewhat educated individual. Oh, and by the way, while I was fighting the trainers, Seth evolved, and yeah, so basically that's gonna be it for this episode. Like I was saying, if river crabs are a thing and I'm just being dumb, then let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one, where we will go and take on some more stuff towards the south in Cinnabar Island, and possibly start this